It's just having a little bit on the
the French are receiving their people.
The kings of the different cultural institutions of Uganda are welcome. The kings of the different cultural institutions of Uganda, welcome. Standing for the word of prayer.
Thank you, Program Coordinator, Mr. Mondo Chateka, the Minister of General and Social Development, the Permanent Secretary, Your Royal Highnesses, and all our distinguished invited guests. Is it afternoon already? Good afternoon to you. I want to welcome you to the Ministry of General and Social Development, which is the Mother Ministry of the cultural institutions. We also want to thank you for turning up in good numbers. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation. Our apologies for delaying to start this program. We had an important engagement with their Royal Highnesses and their representatives, which was very, very important for us to set pace for our discussion. And since the Minister will be stepping out to handle other different important matters that will support the continuation of these engagements, I will not take a lot of time. I have a presentation, a formal presentation to make within this program. So I would like to invite the Minister to make her remarks, but make her know that she has hosted all the gazetted cultural institutions, and many of the leaders have come in person, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister also requested the cultural leaders to come along with other 3 members, where each had to bring a female gender along with them. Being a ministry responsible for gender equality, there's no way we can leave half of our population behind within this very important institution that leads culture. And therefore, ladies, you are most welcome. Honorable Minister, please, the floor is yours. I'll have more time and interaction with the leaders here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of State for Gender and Culture, Your Royal Highnesses, the traditional and cultural leaders, eminent senior officials from the cultural institutions, and in a special way I want to recognize Owekitiibwa Ssemunyamuze, who is supposed to open officially, and our speech goes as follows. I salute all of you, and I do bring very warm greetings to all of you from His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda and Chairperson of the mighty NRM Party. I'm happy to join you in this important national conference whose theme is carefully crafted out as the role of traditional or cultural leaders in the promotion of culture and socio-economic development in Uganda. The theme does emphasize the importance of cultural institutions in contribution to socio-economic transformation of Uganda. At the same time, the theme enjoins us not to treat culture simply for its sake, but as an important driver and catalyst for socio-economic development. It is for the above reason that the NRM government, through Article 246 in the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as amended, restored and provided for the existence of the institution of traditional or cultural leaders in Uganda. Your Royal Highnesses, ladies and gentlemen, let me take this rare and singular opportunity to remind you that the law provides that you, one, promote and preserve the cultural values, norms, and practices which enhances the dignity and well-being of the people. Two, promote the development, preservation, and enrichment of the people in your community. Those are very critical roles, once well handled, that can ensure that our country is driven to yet another level of socio-economic development through modernization and eradication of poverty and diseases. In recognition of the important role played by the institution of traditional cultural leaders, government decided to enhance the monthly emoluments of traditional leaders to enable them to preserve and promote local languages, undertake programs geared towards eliminating negative cultural practices that are detrimental to the community, and spread the messages of wealth creation and socio-economic empowerment within your community. Government has also provided transport to all recognized cultural or traditional leaders to ease movement while executing these roles, and construction of palaces where they don't exist to ensure decent accommodation. The transport will soon be availed by His Excellency the President. In addition, we shall continue to provide security for the cultural or traditional leaders. Therefore, this platform for traditional or cultural leaders to dialogue with government agencies should propose further actions required to strengthen and cement the partnerships between government and institutions of traditional or cultural leaders to ensure you more meaningfully contribute to the socio-economic transformation of the Republic of Uganda. There is a growing body of evidence that real and meaningful sustainable development can only come through harnessing our rich cultural values and building resilience and formidable partnerships that are critical in achieving Vision 2040, Africa's Agenda 2063, and the Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 2030. Distinguished leaders, allow me to paint the African picture to which Uganda is part. You may want to note that Africa as a continent is still grappling with high levels of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Recent data indicates that Africa remains the region with the highest poverty rate globally, with over 34% of the population living below the poverty line. Economic growth, although positive in several countries in the region, has been fragile, uneven, and insufficient to drive substantial poverty reduction and achieve Africa's Agenda 2063. The continent's gross domestic product growth rate has averaged at around 3% over the past 5 years, well before 7% target needed to meet the SDGs by 2030. Distinguished leaders, the picture above is gloomy and undesirable, and part of the solution to address the situation must come from you. We must work towards harnessing our rich cultures and promote both the tangible and intangible cultural artifacts as we promote our tourism sector. You perhaps all know that Uganda is among the top 10 tourist destinations in the world. What are we doing under our various cultural institutions to build and promote our historical cultural sites? What about promotion of our rich cuisine, music? Leaders as government, we look forward to receiving your evidence-based proposals to enable us to work with you to make our country a better place for all of us. I now declare this 2 days national conference for traditional and cultural leaders officially open. I wish you so I thank you
and explaining things that are supposed to be confined into the bedrooms or private areas to the media. I'm sure you have listened to them. But our children, babies, are watching. They are hearing the news. Some of them who have gotten into puberty age may want to practice what this Senga on the media has just explained. So early marriages, early pregnancies, incest is rising within our community because these matters are not being very well articulated. Hired singers, because of the money component, are not giving the right information to the young girls. At the end of last year, there was a paper, I think about 28 or 29, which was showing that we have the highest cases in court, divorce cases. And divorce touches our culture. Because in my cultural setting, marriage is permanent. Even when we take it to another level into the churches, we vow to live together until death does us apart. But of late, we make magnificent weddings today. In less than 6 months, these people have broken up already. Which I think should go back to our culture. Because in our culture we had levels of tolerance. Because the young boys were initiated. The young boys were taken through a certain training. And they had role models of who to go back to when they need consultations. When they need to cry before somebody, at least they had a shoulder to lean on. They had people to take them through. Marriage is an institution where no one has gone to learn into a school. But it is an institution that is shaped by our culture and our way of life. And all our institutions are here together. We have all the structures, we have all these able men. Why don't we help them to go to radios and talk about our good practices of our culture? And we'd rather have them initiate our children on radio, on media. And we know there's a certain category of people that can talk to them. They can even go to the schools, walk into the school and say, I want to talk to you. Young men, prepare yourselves. Because these are things that you're going to see. The girls also are also looking for materialism. Who am I marrying? He's from the bank, he's working with an international agency. That man, the day he loses a job, the marriage ends. The day he has a setback, so are we married for friendship? Are we married for love? Is it love that brings us together? or it is materials that are bringing connections. And then of course the intercultural relationship and marriages, where people are looked at as foreigners when they get to marry into a different culture. So how somebody lands in is important, and intermarriages are what has constituted Africans. It is what brings us connections. That is why we have certain standards of values that cut across, like respect for elders. It is because of the intermarriages that has helped us to do that. So I think it is important to get back to the drawing board and encourage the clan leaders to have these discussions candidly, because they are affecting our culture, they are affecting our people who are living together, and when it breaks at the family level, then you know your culture is beginning to break and disintegrate. The storytelling and oral tradition was very, very important for us. Even now we know, for us as mothers, that when you are raising a child, even when this child is still in the womb, you tell a story to that child. Touch your stomach and talk to the child who is inside. And that is what the fathers should also do. Touch your wife's belly and talk to that baby who you have planted there. So that you begin fathering from the child time when the child is in the stomach, not after the child has been delivered. Because I've seen people deny the existence of even the child when they are already born. Especially when they are born with a disability. Some young men run away. So for us in our culture, we don't deliver such people. This must be something from your own culture or family. So that stereotyping is not good. Our storytelling, our stories should be written. It might be short. Let's write it down. I remember the story of Warumbe. Did you hear about the story of Warumbe when you were children? Are you sure our children who are going to school have heard the story of Warumbe? It is because it's not translated to other generations. Now our children are busy. Even when you interact with them, even when you go back home, after they have greeted you, they concentrate on their phones. They are concentrating on their TVs. Because they have been indoctrinated by a series of those TVs, a series of a play. Somebody's glued, their eyes are glued to the TV on a specific time. That is for women. And for the men, it is soccer. They know all the players of Man U and Arsenal. Can forget even some of their children's names, but not a good player in Arsenal and Man U. Isn't that a fact? So I think we need to get back to homes and talk about our children and tell a story. Even in those cultural practices, on those days of coronations, you can bring an old person, you can bring an old woman over there, or a person, maybe the mid-generation, to tell a story. A small story. It may not be necessary about that function, but that is a practice that we want to promote, so that our culture, our way of life, our tradition, our history is not lost within our time of existence. This promotes social learning, preservation of culture practices, and community engagement. Then we have clan systems, which are very, very positive. Clan systems should also be communicated, so that the clans remain intact. Where we have even failed to restore a cultural leader because there was a breakage of clan, there was a reproduction of clans. One clan divides into three, they form 3 clans. But each clan had its own totem, which originated from something, and they had a story about it. So you find certain generations lost, they don't know which clans they belong to. For me, I'm a Musita, and that is one of the very old clans. Oh, great. I'm happy to be mothering a Prime Minister of Kamawa. And I come from Toro Kingdom. And my Prime Minister is here. I'm privileged to have him. So these clans are very, very important for us because we name our children after those clans, isn't it? Now, for those clans that are multiplying because of a traditional leader, there are traditional leaders and institutions which are elective. So when they want to increase votes, they also increase the clans. But at the end of the day, we shall begin in the breeding. Isn't that the right thing? We shall eventually inbreed. You will marry your brother. Because clan members are known to be relatives, isn't it? So to avoid inbreeding, it is important to marry from different clans. So when we continue increasing and multiplying clans, inbreeding may come. So the role of the clans is social organization. I have heard somebody here who says he comes from which clan? A clan is said is spread all over in different areas of the country. Was that from Uganda Kingdom? No, it is the Prime Minister of Toro. Your clan is a Basambu. I am married to one of them. And that Musambu is not from Toro, it's from the Ankwere Kingdom. So you find, I've also gotten, there is a clan which invited me somewhere in Toro. And the members of that clan were from the eastern Uganda and others also from the northern Uganda. All the members come and gathered there. Sorry? The Bachwezi. So that clan system plays a significant role in a social organization, a significant role in identity and conflict resolution. Members of the same clan will not want to interfere with each other, and when you pronounce yourself as, identify yourself as such, immediately you are taken as a brother and a relative. Then there are rights of passages like we stated already. There is community land ownership. There are clans which own land. That is very common in the eastern Uganda, I think even in the north. Those communities which own land, they stem from their culture. So land ownership is managed at the community level, and no one lacks land in that community. Because every member of that community has a share of land. It promotes social solidarity, it promotes cooperation and collective responsibility. Although it is also a challenge in a different way, that development may become a problem. If you want to carve off a piece of land for purposes of development, or a big chunk of land, and you want to have a land title, it may require a whole clan to come and give a signature, which I think acceptability becomes a problem. So it is important that you find modalities in which people can be able to own land within that community, so that they are able to have freedom of developing the land. There's traditional medicine. All of us know that during COVID time, the number of people that use traditional medicine in Uganda are almost 90%, if not 100%. Who did not steam using traditional herbs? Who of us did not steam using traditional herbs? I thought I was alone. Since nobody has raised their hands, it means even the permanent secretary did. Even our cultural leaders, none of them did. But it worked. And Uganda uses 65% of our traditional herbs for treatment. It is a fact that we have registered. That is why we work with the Ministry of Health. The machine to sell, it is the man who takes the right to sell, and afterwards he brings over 5 kilograms, and yet children have missed a number of sessions without even going to class because they were protecting from the birds. So the denial of women to access land takes them to the marshland. These marshland are the wetlands, and that has affected our climate. It is so uncertain now. The climate is so uncertain now than ever before. During the rainy season, there is a drought. During the drought, there is a bit of rain. So you cannot determine, you cannot predict. And we are going to live with this kind of environment for a long time. And the answer is, we need to correct this. Let them access land. Let them access. If they cannot access the product, it cannot be taken to be theirs, and let them have a share out of the 70% coffee that is going to be produced. Reserve 30% to this woman. There's also a law that is so clear. There's also a law that is so clear about succession, that upon the decease, upon the death of the husband, the woman will get 25, is it 25%? 25%. Has it changed? 15%. That is worsening my really bad situation. Yes. 15%. 20. Yes. Relative. But you started life together with this young girl when she was very glittering. And of late, we are no longer inheriting land from our fathers, or even property, because it has almost disappeared, isn't it? In many places. So we are starting land, we are starting life from scratch. This young lady and this young man start life, they earn property, they raise it up. At the age when she's vulnerable, when she has grown old, is when you are telling her, you no longer own this property you worked for. You now have only 15%. And your children are going to be your bosses from now forthwith. At the time when you need medication, at the time when you need to command with all your resources. You know, at an old age, you cannot command when you have money. Isn't it? Yes. Even the child who's going to support you at home, if you don't have money, that child would run away. So that makes me women very vulnerable. And it does not really bring the impression as to why she worked so hard to make this family. So they begin looking for plan B. What is plan B? When they are working at your home, they are also reserving something back to their home, because there is a likelihood that they go back. Unfortunately, where they are keeping it, there are also other boys who are looking at it. Isn't that the truth? So for how long will these people, will this gender remain in circus? Why don't we solve the problem once and for all? Above all, you are the beneficiary. If she has 30% or 50% of that coffee, she will not reserve it for other people. It will be your children. It will be your family. Isn't it? The more comfortable she stays in your home, the more she's able to deliver for your growth and development. I beg to submit. I thank
you. Mudama, the King of Bokitu Banataba, representing the Kingdom of Uganda. We have a well-prepared list of all the kings and prime ministers representing different kingdoms. However, I'll endeavor to follow the protocol. And in that order, I would like to start by introducing the Sovereignty His Royal Highness Mogezi, who is also the Deputy Chairman of King's Forum, representing His Majesty the King of Banyaro, who is the substantive chairman. At one point, somebody whispered to me, and I hope the King will take up this issue, that since the King of Bunyoro was made the chairman at the beginning of founding of the Cultural Leaders Forum, it has taken so long. There has been no change, and we hear and understand His Majesty, the King of Bunyoro, is not well enough to be able to continue serving as the chairman of King's Forum. So at a given point, perhaps in another agenda, maybe in another day, the Kings may wish to consider this question so that for proper administration, for efficient administration, we should have a substantive chairman, deputy, and members of the committee that become answerable to the Kings for the actions that have been taken, how many meetings, where the minutes and the follow-up, and what has resulted as a result of such meetings. So, while I leave that to the Royal Highnesses to consider at a later date, maybe under any other business, I would like to go ahead and introduce the Royal Highnesses that are here. As I said, start with His Royal Highness Mogeti, the Swabaru.
That is the team which we runs and overlooks at looks at the different portfolios covering all the social economic aspects of the kingdom. The kingdom is also organized in terms of counties. We have 18 counties as given there and shown in the map, and it generally runs on kind of a decentralized system. The counties are subdivided into sub-counties, parishes, up to village level to ensure that there is easy flow of information. Buganda Kingdom runs a full-time administration comprised of approximately 100 civil servants at Bulange Mengo. It also has several agencies engaged in commercial undertakings, including schools, media houses, cooperatives, and trading agencies. As we talk, we have more than 30 agencies. We have, for instance, we have 4 first-class secondary schools, 2 tertiary institutions, and 1 university with 2 branches. All these employ more than 1,000 people to help in the implementation of the government programs. Among the key achievements between 2020 and 2030 is the Mwanyi Terimba program. The details in our presentation will show the tremendous rise in the production of coffee since the campaign started in 2016. As we talk, by now, Uganda has greatly increased on the production of its coffee, and it has engaged in several other campaigns related to improvement of the coffee production and the value addition. In the next slide, you will see the capital of Uganda and working with the religious leaders to encourage people to promote the growing of coffee. We also see the coffee trading. The kingdom started a Mwanyi Terimba Limited, a company that deals in buying coffee, and there has been a campaign to run to encourage people to drink coffee. We also started processing coffee in what we branded as Kawa Mporogoma. We have a program on promotion of affordable education through the Kabaka Education Fund and establishment of schools from nursery to tertiary, including a university like I've already mentioned. This year alone, this financial year, which started in July last year, we are constructing 6 early development centers in 6 sub-counties. In the presentation, because of in the interest of time, I cannot go into details, but we are even showing the details of students graduating from our tertiary institutions and the schools that we have been able to construct. We have programs promoting good health, building of health centers, fighting against AIDS, Kabaka birthday run, blood donation, health camps, and sensitization. Already 2 health center falls, back to the slide above, already 2 health center falls are operational, one in Busiro here and another one in Bulemezi. 3 are under construction, like you see there, one in Chapwe, another one in Budu, and another one in Singo. Uganda also partnered with the Rotary International, and they always donate to the campaign of constructing.
2 more minutes.
Okay. Then we are involved in mobilization of our citizens against malaria. The Kabaka birthday run proceeds are dedicated to fighting diseases like AIDS. We are into blood donation. The figures are there. We have programs of inclusion, inclusive socio-economic development of the people through cooperative.
A cabinet headed by the Katukiro of Musoga. We have clan heads, we have people who go down as representatives of the king up to the homestead. And the king has been impacting the Musoga community through promoting tourism. Being the tourism capital of this country, because of the River Nile source, we are focusing on tourism a lot, and we have the Kaguru hill climbing, which has taken over Ugandans, and we are doing a lot of things in conservation and making sure that we do stuff.
2 minutes to go.
2? Yes. Okay. The king has done so much in sports. We have Masaza Cup, we have even a bicycle race. Recently, if you have your paper today, recently he opened the Masaza bicycle race. We are giving bursaries, we are giving so many other incentives in education and health, including healthy camps. Madam Minister, one of the important things that the king is doing was to fight early marriages and teenage pregnancy. And for working so hard, recently the United Nations agency, especially the UNAIDS, requested the king to be the goodwill ambassador, the national goodwill ambassador in fighting teenage pregnancies. Busoga is the 3rd worst hit, but this is a national problem, and at an appropriate time, the king will come to Your Royal Highnesses and other distinguished cultural leaders to come up and fight this vice. There is a campaign through his organization called Chabazinga Initiatives. That campaign has been tag-named Men are the Pillars, or Abasada Nempango. This is a campaign, Madam Mutuzo, which you need to come and support very much, because it is intended to solve the issue of the non-involvement of men in the affairs of the family. A research shows that a lot of men have neglected their role in their homes, and that is why we are getting the problem of teenage pregnancy. In Busoga, it is at 38%. The national average is about 24%. And then other areas which are in the 40%. Our children are our future, and we are saying if men get involved, we will get more better outcomes. Men are the pillars in the education of their children. Men are the pillars of the home in maintaining discipline. Men are the pillars in the health situation of the home. And indeed, men are the pillars in propelling this country. We are also saying that the women are the Kasoria. Kasoria is the roof. And for the home to really survive, both must be in tandem as far as the development of the home is. The 11 Development Foundation is focusing on food security and issues to do with morals in the home, and therefore in the community, in the churches, everywhere, because morals is the reason why so much is happening from bottom to up. I would like to also inform you that as a kingdom we have a strategic plan. We are now going to the third strategic plan of the existence of the kingdom, and basically our focus is to supplement government in the areas of food production, peace and stability of the homes, and things to do with preserving our culture. We have challenges, Madam.
First of all, allow me to thank the minister. Thank my colleagues and the representatives of our kingdoms, the organizing committee of this long-awaited conference. You can call me again His Royal Highness Paul San Emolot Tomele, Emolot Papa Teso Dezan. Today's meeting is a very good one, and especially the theme. So, Madam Minister, allow me at this juncture ask you, the Prime Minister, to come and give our presentations.
That one I will handle him very well.
6 minutes.
5 minutes now.
Madam Minister.
All your Royal Highnesses present, ministers in your different capacities, Right Honorable Minister, Permanent Secretary, and members from Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. My name is Stella Kijaya Najiri. I'm so excited to be among the royals. You know, issues of the royals are normally left to the elderly. But actually, Kwara actually has beaten the odds and chosen me among the various youth in Acholi sub-region. Thank you very much. I'm a lawyer by profession, but I've dedicated my time to help the young people in Acholi and to instill cultural values among the young people, because majority of us go to school and deviate from our cultural values. I thank Your Royal Highness, David Onel Achana II, for the privilege that you've given unto me. Thank you very much. Actually, as a tribe, has had several issues, ranging from teenage pregnancy, domestic violence, high school dropouts, alcoholism, child neglect, child marriages or defilement, prostitution. Ago is now where we've had rampant, because now Guru is the epicenter, is a city in northern Uganda that welcomes majority right from West Nile, Lao, and Karamoja. So majority decide or prefer to live on the streets. And these challenges are coming in because of the various issues that affect northern Uganda at large. Amidst this, the cultural institution, as KQAR, has not been sleeping. We've been a vehicle that has been mobilizing the youth, the elderly, the religious leaders, government programs within the region through the leadership of His Royal Highness Lord David Onena Chana II. Right Honorable Minister, actually, KQAR actually, as a cultural institution, has been in existence since 1400 AD, arising from the migration of the Luo ethnic group, which is also recognized under Article 246 of our 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995 as amended. KQAR actually has 57 chiefs, known as Rodi. The chiefs are headed by the paramount chief, who is amidst us here, His Royal Highness Lord David Onena Chana II. KQAR actually also has established structures that consist of Rodi Kweri. These are in charge of men within a village. Rodi Okoro, we are gender sensitive. Rodi Okoro are women leaders in charge of affairs of women in the villages. We also have one gang, the Dit Kara and Rodi Mo. The cultural institution partners with the government, central government, local leaders, and other development partners. Within KQAR actually, we also have ministers present. Apparently we have 18 ministers and other officers that help in the secretariat. Briefly, I'll only share because of time, I'll share briefly what KQAR actually did within last year, and then our 5-year strategic plan to enable us catch up with time. Actually, has tourist sites. You've heard of Fort Patiko in Gulu. There is a Moro hot spring. If each one of you here moved with me to a Moro district with an egg, you put the egg in water and within 5 minutes, you're already eating your boiled egg. So that is also found in a Moro. We have a falls in Pade that could also, in the near future, generate hydro electricity power to the region. We have got Guru. Most of us who studied history recall the Namogi Rebellion that was fought in Acholi. The first people who rebelled the British rule were the people of Acholi. And the marks, the stones or the signs of the British are still left on the stones in Gorogoro. We have Marshall Falls National Park. That is also found in Acholi sub-region that create employment opportunity and government revenue also. And then actually, as a sub-region, was blessed by 2 saints who were beatified by His Excellency, who attended the beatification of these 2 saints, Gildo Ra and Daudi Okelo, all found at Wipolo in Agago district. We have also natural resources. We endowed. You've heard of Tilenga project. It's found in Waya district. Waya district is in Acholi sub-region. We have Atiak sugar. We make our own sugar and we benefit from it. Also Achua ranch that helps us in dairy farming and other activities. And then right, Minister, you talked about traditional justice system. We've been doing it. You know, actually sub-region has been going through an insurgency for over 20 years. That is the Lord Resistance Army. Apparently, ICC is into the process of conducting a confirmation of charges hearing. That will begin on the 5th of September 2025. These charges are going to be confirmed when Joseph Coyne is absent. It is legal within the Rome Statute. So the ICC does not work in isolation. They work with Kekwa Acholi. Kekwa Acholi has also been involving in the Dominic Ongwen's case, where the focus is on reconciliation, reparation, and psychosocial support to the community. In the current case of Kanyamunyu, Kekwa actually embraced the idea of Matoput, where we saw our brother at the palace conducting the Matoput. It's a process that will be concluded this year by February. Kekwa actually supports government projects. We have presidential initiative on skilling the youth is in Gulu district, where after 6 months.
Infrastructure. The second one, socio-economic transformation of people of Uganda. And thirdly, the building a sustainable kingdom. Madam Chair, I know time cannot allow me.
A hand of applause to Uganda Kingdom for this robust presentation. Thank you so much for being organized. At least, yes, we hear you covering the money. Now we can see where it has been going. Thank you. Thank you very much. And for non-discrimination, even in education, I've seen people from different cultures who have been given sponsorship from Uganda Kingdom. Thank you so much for that. We're now getting to the...
Thank my colleagues and the representatives of our kingdoms, the organizing committee of this long-awaited conference. You can call me again, His Royal Highness Paul San Emolot Tomele, Emoro Papa Iteso, the third. Today's meeting is a very good one, and especially the theme. So, Madam Minister, allow me at this juncture ask the Prime Minister to come and give our presentations.
That one I will...